Hi, this is Nikolai from Bunker Samples with a quick sneak peek of some of the bass patches from my upcoming string library, Bunker Strings. Now, first of all, I should say that this is not in any way a normal string library. I'm not necessarily interested in creating virtual versions of real instruments. Other people do that much better than I. I'm more interested in creating virtual instruments that come from a real source, but through sampling becomes something entirely new, something that has a character all of its own, but is also playable like a real instrument. To me, that's where sampling becomes a creative art form in itself. One of the challenges of traditional sampling is that as soon as you start playing chords, you get this unrealistically huge orchestra with hundreds of violins. But here, I'm turning that problem upside down and using it as an advantage. It all started with an experiment I did last spring in my studio at the time in Copenhagen, which happens to be a bunker, and that sounded like this. So in this library, dynamics are created not by dynamic layers, but by fading in more players. That is possible because in this library, I didn't record a section of 9 violas playing at once, but I recorded each one separately. And in this case, it was myself just standing in different positions in the room, creating a sort of fake section sound, which is something I've done hundreds of times in my day job as a session musician. All these recordings then gets mixed down into submixes, so you don't get a crazy number of streaming voices, although that would be a cool library. So when you move the mod wheel to the bottom, you're hearing just a few of me. And as you move it up, more and more come in. And here I start playing another articulation, which is hitting the strings with a drumstick, sort of a tremolo collegno, but there's a lot of chaos in the samples because you're getting the pitch of the root note, but you're also getting the pitch of where the stick is hitting the string at that moment. So that's the idea behind this library, to create a virtual instrument that is, in a sense, real and highly playable, but does something that will be, well, at least very impractical to do in real life. So I decided to go back in the bunker, get some better mics, and record not just viola, but also bass, cello, and violin. So it covers the whole range of a traditional string section, but with this strange ability to morph between number of players. So here are some of the bass patches. There's no interface yet, but it's going to have one. This is just soft pizzicato. So now we're just hearing 3 players, and 6, and 9. And I really like how this strumming pizzicato, the sound just sort of melts together into this drony kind of thing. Now we also recorded a louder tremolo pizzicato. I just love that sound. Of course, you can put these two articulations together, so you have the soft pizzicato at the bottom, and then the louder comes in. So instantly you can go between just a few players and a lot. Of course, we also recorded the drumstick articulation, which on a bass sounds like this. And then, just like in the original viola experiment, we can put it all together. So you can hear there is a huge range of tonal possibilities, and of course all these different articulations can be mixed in different ways to create entirely new and playable instruments. One of the things I'm experimenting with at the moment is to apply individual effects to each of the 9 players in each section. So for example, each player can have his own delay time. So there will be some very useful and interesting sound design patches in the library as well. So just to recap, there are 9 players per section, 9 basses, 9 cellos, 9 violas, 9 violins, but these are submixed into 3 layers per group, so you can morph between 3, 6 and 9 players per articulation. While we were there, we also recorded some short notes, basically colenos but played with a drumstick, and they are the craziest, loudest colenos I've ever heard, and they mix very well with other libraries because they are so dry. They have 4 round robins and 3 actual dynamic layers. Velocity controls the dynamic layers, but the mod wheel controls how many players. So at the bottom you have 3, and again in the middle 6 players. So that was just a quick sneak peek at some of the beta patches from the library. I will be adding more videos and info to bunkersamples.com as the library comes together, and I gotta say, I'm very excited about how it's turning out. It's available for pre-order. There will be an intro discount as well, and I hope to release sometime around Christmas, if not before. Hope you enjoyed this. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.